of Clan Gen, back with Jet Clan. And before we start this video, please like and subscribe because it's free and it helps out a ton. Anyways, let's get into it. First, starting with our patrols. Pebble. Oh yeah, I forgot about mediating. Whatever. Let's start mediating first. Respect increased, trust increased, platonic like increased, comfort increased, romantic interest increased, dislike decreased, jealousy decreased. Okay, and now time for the patrols. Bubble Star will go on her own and make sure everybody's okay on a border patrol. Pebble Star tracks the scent of a large dog, wandering along the edge of the clan's territory. They don't feel like they have anything like the skill or power, but Pebble Star would give their life for Jet Clan. Charging courageously led the dog away from Jet Clan territory. Each booming bark has to be the herald of doom. Each rancid breath, the last thing they'll ever smell. But somehow, eventually, limbs and lungs burning, they leap to refuge. Flightfeather would go out with his apprentice Olivepaw on a training patrol. While Olivepaw and Flightfeather are walking, Olivepaw seems preoccupied. When Flightfeather brings their patrol to a halt and asks what's wrong, they reveal they've been having a hard time sleeping because their dreams are filled with shadows and images. Flightfeather listens sympathetically, gently nodding as Olivepaw pours out their troubles until the apprentice eventually runs out of words. They've been dealing with a lot apparently, and while Flightfeather isn't too sure what to do, they could offer support and time away from Olivepaw's troubles. And just that is already enough to make Olivepaw's ears stop drooping. Logwhisker would go out with his mate, Grousejoy, on a herb gathering patrol. Logwhisker goes out with a warrior escort, both for safety as they look sorely for needed fresh supplies that have survived Leaf Bear so far, and for carrying capacity should they find anything. It's an exhausting day. Longwhisker starts chatting with Grousejoy to pass the time, but they have nothing in common, and the other cat bluntly refuses not to talk about boring herbs. Rain Acorn would take her apprentice Rapidpaw training patrol. Rain Acorn suggests this might be a good chance to practice new fighting techniques with Rapidpaw. Both cats have a nice practice session, swapping their best tips and tricks with each other. Goldsap would go out with Boarpaw, their apprentice, on a training patrol. Goldsap suggests this might be a good chance to practice new hunting techniques with Boarpaw. Both cats have a nice practice session, swapping their best tips and tricks with each other. And last patrol for this moon, Scratchdem and Bumblepaw on a trading patrol. The pair find a nice spot to sun themselves. Scratchdem smiles, inviting Bumblepaw to sit down. The apprentice is a little stiff at first, unsure how to act in front of a warrior, but that's actually what Scratchdem wants to work on here. Jet Clan contains all of ages, skills, talent, and talents. It's important to work on being comfortable with everyone, just as important as working on respecting them. They're all Jet Clan after all. And that was the last patrol for this moon. And time skip on moon. Births and deaths. Dashshade died of yellow cough. Pebblestar looks at all the cats sitting vigil for Dashshade and wonders how any of them will cope without Dashshade in their lives. In the dead of the night, Pebblestar wails into the vast sky, unable to fathom StarClan's cruelty. They glare up at Silverpelt, gouging the earth with shaky claws. Logwhisker wails when they see the body of Dashshade, still and cold in the clearing. They set vigil that night as the grief fills their hearts. Logwhisker can't be bothered to get up out of their nest the next day, refusing to speak a word to those around them. As the clan sits vigil, Jade Feather's voice cracks with grief, talking about the time they had with Dashshade. Jade Feather trembles, tearing at their nest, unable to sleep as they brood over Dash Shade's last moments. Did they suffer? Were they scared? Jade Feather can't shake the crushing guilt. This past moon, Dash Shade has taken their place in StarClan. Jet Clan mourns their loss, and their clanmates will miss the spot they took up in their lives. Moments of their lives are shared in stories around the circle of mourners as those who were closest to them take them to their final resting place. Miscellaneous. Pebblestar and Flight Feather have become mates. Jet Clan does not have enough healthy medicine cats. Cats will be sick or hurt for longer and have a higher chance of dying. Dash Shade died of yellow cough. Olive Paw's small cut has healed up nicely. Boar Paw took a tumble off a rock while practicing their battle moves. They'll be a bit tender for the next few days. Okay. Gonna check their relationships. Oh. Okay. Moving on. Rain Acorn. Gold Sap. Scratch Stem. Grousejoy. Bumblepaw. Olive Paw. And Boar Paw. And finally Rapid Paw. Okay. And now time for the patrols. Flight Feather would go out with his apprentice Olive Paw on a training patrol, because why not? Flight Feather suggests this might be a good chance to practice new hunting techniques with Olive Paw. Unfortunately, neither cat steps up to teach, and it makes everything feel awkward and a waste of time, and the cats give up and return to camp a little irritated. Rain Acorn would take her apprentice Rapid Paw on a training patrol. Rain Acorn suggests this might be a good chance to practice new fighting techniques with Rapid Paw. Unfortunately, neither cat steps up to teach. It makes everything feel awkward and a waste of time, and the cats have given up and returned to camp a little irritated. Goldsap would go out with his mentor, his apprentice Boarpaw, on a training patrol. Goldsap takes them both out to see a big porcupine, a patrol spotted in one of the many glades of Jet Clan's forests. Boarpaw watches with the big bushy lump of the creature with wide eyes, tails twitching with excitement. Goldsap points out the cascade of spines, lying flat on its hairy back as the porcupine snuffles happily around the forest floor, sounding like a happy newborn kitten in the nursery. Scratch Stem would go out with nobody on a hunting patrol. Scratch Stem catches the scent of a mouse nearby, a perfect opportunity to pick up one of the first bounties New Leaf brings to the forest. Scratch Stem immediately drops into a practice crouch, shimmying flawlessly across the ground and taking the perfectly plump mouse completely by surprise. Grousejoy would take Bumblepaw on a training patrol, the last patrol of the day. The pair find a nice spot to sun themselves. Settling down, Grousejoy wants to know how Bumblepaw is finding their training. What do they think of the young cats in the clan? Is any special friends, perhaps? Bumblepaw half melts into the ground with embarrassment. Now time to skip a moon. Flight Feather sits in the crowd, just puffed out in pride to watch Olive Paw be named Olive Pad. And honored for their cleverness, they considered themselves lucky to be able to train with such an amazing young cat, and look forward to seeing the warrior they become. Rain Acorn gives Rapid Paw a friendly nudge when the leader calls the young cat's name. They watch with pride as Rapid Paw steps forward to receive their new name, Rapid Holy, and are honored for their social ability. Jade Feather confessed their feelings to Grousejoy but was rejected. Jet Clan does not have enough healthy medicine cats. Cats will be sick hurt for longer and have a higher chance of dying. Boarpaw is feeling much better. Their bruises are gone. As the herb source inspected by the medicine cat, it's noticed that all of the moss went bad. They'll have to be replaced with new ones. So it's time for Rain Acorn's warrior time to be over, and we'll switch her to mediator, and we'll switch Jade Feather out of mediating to a warrior, even though that's not really going to do anything because he's already sick. Anyways, let's move on to our patrol. Flight Feather would go out. Oh yeah, he has no more he has no more apprentices to teach. So I guess he'll go out with Scratch Them on a hunting patrol. Your patrol comes across a squirrel. It's engrossed in nibbling at a morsel beneath a tree. Stealthily, Scratch Them stalks forward. The squirrel has no idea what's coming as the cat pounces on it and breaks its neck. Scratch Them sends a silent thanks to Starkland for this prey. Goldsap would take their apprentice Boarpaw on a training patrol. Out in the forest, Goldsap asks Boarpaw if they know why JetClan chooses to live in the woods under the canopy rather than any other environment. Boarpaw launches into the speech about how JetClan is awesome because they aren't kitty pets, only for Goldsap to stop them. That wasn't the point of the lesson. Grousejoy would go with Bumblepaw on a training patrol. Grousejoy suggests this might be a good chance to practice new fighting techniques with Bumblepaw. Grousejoy takes charge in the coordinates for the exercises for the duo. They practice how to weave around an opponent, feeling more and more confident in their teamwork. The warrior praises how quickly Bumblepaw picks it up, and the apprentice comes back to camp fluffed up with pride. Olive Pad would go out with Rabbit Holy on a hunting patrol. Your patrol encounters a clearing where a lot of two legs linger. They continue hunting undetected. Okay, time to skip a moon. Ceremonies. Pebblestar has been following the progress of Bumblepaw for moons and feels like it's finally time to give them their warrior name. They are granted the name Bumble Lilac in honor of their integrity. As the clan cheers for the new warrior, Bornip, Grousejoy purrs loudly. Their kid is finally now a warrior. A new journey has begun for Bornip, and Grousejoy knows that Bornip's exemplar would lead them through anything. Jade Feather confessed their feelings to Grousejoy, but was rejected. Scratch Them received a present, moth wings, from Olive Pad, and decided to keep it with them on their belt. JetClan no longer has any healthy medicine cats. Cats will be sicker, hurt for longer, and have a higher chance of dying. Oh yeah, Logwhisker. Grousejoy would fill in because she's been with Logwhisker and knows all about medicine herbs, so she would take over being a medicine cat. And now it's time for our patrols. Since Flight Feather can't go out with Pebblestar, you'll go out with Goldsap on a hunting patrol. Your patrol encounters a clearing where a lot of two legs linger. The patrol mostly ignores the two legs. As they hunt, they hear a yelp from Goldsap. They've crawled into a metal two legs box, and there's nothing they or the rest of the patrol can do to get them out. Eventually, the two legs notice, and Goldsap is taken by them. Goldsap has been lost. Okay, Goldsap has been lost. Grousejoy would go out with Scratch Them on a herb gathering patrol. Grousejoy notices that the moss in the medicine den is getting old. They need to go and gather some more. Grousejoy leads the way to the best moss patch they know, with Scratch Them following close behind. The two cats begin cutting off bits of moss and making their respective piles. Once the piles turn into mouthfuls, they start to pick up the bundles of new bedding and start back to camp. Moss was gathered. Olive Pad would go out with their sibling Rabbit Holly on a hunting patrol. Your patrol comes across a squirrel. It's engrossed in nibbling a morsel beneath a tree. Your patrol nearly misses the squirrel as it's alerted by a bird's alarm call. And last patrol for the day, a hunting patrol with Boarnip and Bumble Lilac. The patrol hears a distant howling and wonders whether to investigate the noise. The patrol tracks the noise and discovers a wolf eating from its kill. This is a predator they cannot fight, and more wolves may be nearby. The patrol decides to return to camp and report the intruder to the leader. Perhaps they can return later to take what little fresh kill was left behind. And now it's time to skip a moon. Pebblestar wakes one day after moons of numbness and feels though the world is less dull. Logwhisker will always feel their grief, but time has softened it, at least for a little while. And that's it for this moon. So now it's time for patrols. Pebblestar would go out with their mate, Flightfeather, on a border patrol. Your patrol finds a loner who is interested in joining the clan. They banter with the cat a bit, making them feel more welcome. The patrol doesn't have to do much convincing. The loner seems happy to join the clan with their litter of kits. Sunnybush joined the clan. Archkit joined the clan. Huronkit joined the clan. Lilac-Kit joined the clan. Your clan's reputation to outsiders has improved. Okay. Logwhisker would take out Grousejoy on a herb-gathering patrol. Logwhisker heads out, leading a patrol of medicine cats to go find some of the bounty of Greenleaf. The ground is dusty and slippery as Logwhisker falls. Grousejoy catches them. It's a nice reminder that the responsibility of looking after the clan is shared one, and the rescue also makes Logwhisker shiver pleasantly. Wild garlic was gathered. And I think I'm just going to keep Grousejoy as Medcat because she already knows so much about medicine cat herbs, so I'm just going to keep her there. Sunnybush would go out with Scratchdum and talk about how the clan is. Hunting patrol. Your patrol glimpses the shadow of a fish as they pad past a stream. Scratchdum pads closer to the water's edge, careful to keep their shadow away from the water. The fish doesn't seem to notice them and darts too close. Scratchdum's paw flashes into the water, and the fish flops onto the bank. They kill it and happily carry it back to camp. Oh my gosh. Olive Pad would go out with Rabbit Holly on a hunting patrol. Your patrol comes across a squirrel. It's engrossed in nibbling a morsel behind a tree. Your patrol narrowly misses the squirrel as it's alerted by a bird's alarm call. And last patrol of the moon, Bumble Lilac and Boarnip. They would go on a hunting patrol. The patrol hears a distant howling and wonders whether to investigate the noise. The patrol tracks the noise and finds a mostly striped carcass covered in the scent of a coyote. They quickly scavenge what little is left and leave before the predator can return. In time skip one moon. Okay, a lot had happened. Eager to learn the best ways to help their clan thrive, Archpaw excitedly touches noses with Scratchdum. Sunnybush is watching with pride as Huronpaw is named and given to Rabbit Holly to apprentice under. They know that Rabbit Holly was a good choice. As Lilac-Paw touches noses with Olive Pad, they hope they'll get to do something that will really impress the clan on their first day. Maybe they could catch a big fat rabbit or chase off a fox. That'll show the clan that they're the best apprentice anyone's ever seen. Births and deaths. Pebblestar announced that they are expecting kids. They choose to continue their duties as usual for now. Congrats. Miscellaneous. Pebblestar was seen touching noses with a rogue. Scandalous. Health. Jadefeather picks themselves up out of their nest and begins the day anew, fresh conviction in their heart. Jadefeather has gotten heat stroke. Well, that didn't do anything. Now time to patrol. Pebblestar would go out with their mate Flight Feather on a hunting patrol. Well, I'd say keep Pebblestar back in there because with the litter of kits, I don't think we should risk it. So take Sunnybush out with the deputy to talk about the clan on a hunting patrol. Your patrol encounters a clearing where a lot of two legs linger. They continue hunting undetected. Logwhisker would go with his mate Grousejoy on a herb gathering patrol. Logwhisker heads out, leading a patrol of medicine cats to go find some of the bounty of Greenleaf. Grousejoy disappears for the moment, only to return with a pretty flower in their jaws. Logwhisker chuckles and reminds them that it's not medicinal. Grousejoy smiles, setting the flower down. Perhaps not, but they thought it would make a nice gift for Logwhisker. Logwhisker, charmed, carries the flower with them for the rest of the patrol. Daisy was gathered. Okay. Pebblestar would still stay inside. Scratchdem would go with their apprentice Archpaw on a training patrol. Archpaw isn't acting like their usual self. Scratchdem guides Archpaw to sit gently, asking what's wrong. Archpaw cuddled close to Scratchdem's side. Whimpers that they feel like a failure and that they're not doing good enough. Scratchdem gently tugs them close, murmuring that Archpaw is more than their failures. Failures hurt, yes, but with it comes a chance to learn. All they could do is try not to make the same mistake twice. Good teaching, Scratchdem. Anyways, let's move on. Olive Pad would go out with their apprentice Lilac Paw on a training patrol. Olive Pad wanders past an old badger set in the roots of a hazelnut tree, only to freeze. There's a new scent here, acrid and sour. Calling the rest of the patrol over, the cats discuss their next move. If a badger has moved in, they need to confirm it. But how? Eventually, Olive Pad comes up with a plan. Stuffing bushes into the mouth of the set. The cats would be able to come back tomorrow and see if anything has shoved them out of the way. Rabbit Holly would go out with their apprentice, Huron Paw, on a training patrol. While Huron Paw and Rabbit Holly are out walking, Huron Paw seems preoccupied. When Rabbit Holly brings their patrol to a halt and asks what's wrong, they reveal they've been having a hard time sleeping. Their dreams are filled with shadows and images. Rabbit Holly listens sympathetically, gently nodding as Huron Paw pours out their troubles, until the apprentice eventually runs out of words. They've been dealing with a lot apparently, and while Rabbit Holly isn't too sure what to do, they can offer support and time away from Huron Paw's troubles. And just that is already enough to make Huron Paw's ears stop drooping. Bumble Lilac would go out with their sibling Bornip for the last patrol of the day on a hunting patrol. Bornip spies a fat rabbit on the other side of Berry Clan border. A tempting opportunity to be sure, but it may not be a wise decision to hunt on a different clan's territory. Bornip pounces without any hesitation. They easily kill the rabbit before glancing up and coming face to face with a Berry Clan cat. After a short tussle, Bornip flees over the border and limps their way home. That rabbit certainly wasn't worth the trouble. Bornip got cat bite. Relations with Berry Clan has worsened. Okay. Clan age 28 moons, and it's time to time skip 1 moon. Pebblestar is unsure how many kids they'll have. They decide to move into the nursery in preparation for their soon-to-come kids. Jade Feather is feeling much better. They've recovered from the heat stroke. Olive Pad has gotten a stomachache. Rain Acorn travels to Pheasant Clan to resolve some hunting disputes. Archpaw has gotten fleas. Huron Paw fought a dog but was barely even hurt. They're a bit bruised, but bruises are better than claw marks. And it's just basically all I read. And now, time to do some patrolling. Flight Feather cannot go out with his mate Pebblestar, so I guess he'll just go out with Sunnybush on a hunting patrol. The patrol heads out, determined to visit a distant but well-known clearing, where hopefully the grass has set to seed and attracted birds. However, they get nearer. Flight Feather looks around and realizes Sunnybush isn't with them. The patrol finds where Sunnybush has wandered off to, but it takes too much time, and no one accomplishes too much of anything. There's a lot of grumbling as the cats return home. Okay. Log Whisker would go out with his mate Grousejoy on a herb gathering patrol. Log Whisker heads out, leading a patrol of medicine cats to go find some of the bounty of Greenleaf. It's an exhausting day. Log Whisker starts chatting with Grousejoy to pass the time, but they have nothing in common. Jade Feather would go out with too many apprentices. Bumble Lilac on a hunting patrol. Something skitters across the leaf litter. Catching the patrol's eyes. A little lizard. Jade Feather is basically on top of the skittering lizard and ends up doing a ridiculous hop to come down on it with claws extended. Bumble Lilac compliments them on the catch with a laugh in their meow. And the Jade Feather has to agree with them, purring with laughter. Scratchdem would go with their apprentice Archpaw in a training patrol. Scratchdem wanders past an old badger set in the roots of a hazelnut tree, only to freeze. There's a new scent here, acrid and sour. Calling the rest of the patrol over, the cats discuss their next move. If a badger has moved in, they need to confirm it. But how? Eventually, Scratchdem comes up with a plan, stuffing bushes into the mouth of the set. The cats will be able to come back tomorrow to see if anything has shoved them out of the way. Another badger? Whatever. Olive Pad, Lilac Paw on a training patrol. Olive Pad takes Lilac Paw out of camp to gather moss. No matter how patiently Olive Pad tries to teach Lilac Paw how to firmly but gently gather and shred moss, they don't seem to be paying attention. Frustrated with them, Olive Pad decides to have a talk with the leader upon their return to camp. Rabbit Holly would go with Huron Paw on a training patrol. Huron Paw isn't acting like their usual self. Rabbit Holly guides Huron Paw to sit, gently asking what's wrong. Huron Paw cuddled close to Rabbit Holly's side, whimpers that they feel like a failure, and that they're not doing good enough. Rabbit Holly gently tugs them close, murmuring that Huron Paw is more than their failures. Failure hurts, yes, but with it comes a chance to learn. All they can do is not try to make the same mistake twice. Good teaching, Rabbit Holly. I'm gonna skip a moon. In the nursery, Pebblestar lies sucking a litter of 2 kits. Flight Feather watching over them and purring so hard that their body vibrates. Olive Pad is glad that their stomach ache is finally gone. Bornip's cat bite is healed. Rain Acorn travels to Pounce Clan to resolve some recent hunting disputes. The meeting goes better than expected, and Rain Acorn returns with a plan to solve the issue for good. Archpaw is free of fleas at last. Huron Paw's bruises are gone. As the herb in stores are inspected by the medicine cats, it's noticed that all of the moss went bad. They'll have to be replaced with new ones. Okay, just gonna check over all these. But I'm just gonna end it off here for today. If you really like what I'm doing, please subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. See ya!